So if you don't know the work of representation, I will give you a little explanation and then we'll go dive into the work. So when we do any constellation, we use representation. It can be sticky notes, memo page, but it can also be whatever I have on my desk right now. Okay, really, it doesn't really matter. And what we're doing is...
Could be my remote and my AirPods, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Let's say this represents my soul. So I can write my soul on it. So I'll remember what it represents. And then what I'm doing is I'll put my hand on it in order to feel and sense what comes up in my body. What does it mean? Physical emotions, physical sensations, like am I burping? Am I yawning? Do I feel stomach ache? Do I feel solid in my chair? Do I have a headache? Or maybe I feel like, oh, now I can see clearly. Can I breathe better? So every physical sensation, this is what you are seeking for. After the physical sensation, what we're seeking for is emotions. What does it mean? Or feelings, love, hate, sadness, happiness, you know, just the emotion that comes. We can work with vision that comes, but in this short experiment, I wouldn't go there. All we want is the experiment of sensing and feeling. So if this represents my soul, and let's say this represents me, I want to know, I want to find out, are they in contact with each other? So I will tell you that me and my soul, we are not the same. I am not my soul. My soul is not me. I do contain as a physical body part of my soul, but we are not one. And I teach that also. So that might be me. And this might be my soul. And what we want to do in a constellation work is movement. Let's say my soul is looking that way, and I am looking that way. I'll write I.
I've already written it here, and I'm just going to show it on the screen.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they are not, let's say they are not looking at each other.
Yeah. Okay.
So when we put our hand on it, we want to see if there is any movement. I'll go through it with you. So when I put my hand on my soul, I'm asking myself, do I want to stay where I am or do I want to move? I'll guide you through it, but just so you'll be familiar with the way I'm gonna say it. And then maybe our soul and I will come closer. Maybe they'll just look at each other. So in constellation, what we want is the movement. Okay. And you don't do it on air. I'm just showing you on air. So any question before I'm starting? Okay. And I'll try to be very slow, so it will be easier for you to do that. And what I want us to, pick something to represent yourself. Again, it can be a note, it can be anything in the field. And something to represent your soul. Again, it can be anything. And just place them in front of you. And you can, and you can even now, just when you place them, just look at them. Don't put your hand on them for a moment, just look at them. And notice, how does it feel to look at them? Do you feel in your body pleasant or unpleasant? Do you feel comfortable or not? Just what are the sensations that comes up? Just notice them. And now take one hand, it doesn't really matter which hand, and put it on representation of yourself. And take a deep breath. You can close your eyes if it helps you to tune in. And notice sensations and emotions that comes up. Just that. Yeah, just sensations and emotions. And if nothing comes up, it's also okay. It's really okay. It's some of you, it's the first time they're doing that. It happens. And take your hands off and put it on the representation of my soul. And notice what comes up. Are they the same as you represent yourself, or are those sensations and emotion are different? If you say nothing comes up, do you feel the same nothing as you felt before? Or is it a different nothing? So just notice. And take your hands off and put it back on me. Notice what comes up, sensations, emotions, and also notice, does me wants to stay, the representation of me wants to stay where it is, where I put it in the first time, or does it want to move? And if it wants to move, move it to the new place. If it doesn't want to move, it's okay. But if you want to move, move it to the new place and notice if something changed in the energy, in the sensations and the emotion, or if not, just notice. And take your hands off and put it on my soul. And again, notice what happens now. Does everything is okay, or is things has changed? And does the soul want to move or to stay? And if the soul wants to move, move her. And if she wants to stay, it's also okay. And notice if she moved, notice the change in the energy. That's just notice. And let's bring one more representation to the field. So take your hands off and bring representation to what can help me be closer to my soul. Okay, so whatever you have, you can bring. Don't put your hand on it, just bring it to the field. Put your hand on yourself, on me. Notice what comes up. Did the bringing of what can help me come closer to the soul change anything within you? Do you want to stay where you are? Do you want to move? The representation, does it want to move or stay? If it wants to stay, okay. If it wants to move, move it. And when you're moving it and placing it in the new place, notice the change in the energy, in the sensations, in the emotions. Notice what comes up. And take your hands off and put it on my soul. What happens now when this new element of what can make me closer to my soul comes in? What happens with the soul? Does she want to stay where she is? Does she want to move? And if she wants to move, she doesn't have to. If she wants to move, move her. And notice the change in the energy. Again, sensation, emotion. And take your hands off. Put it on what can help the soul, me come closer to the soul. Notice what comes up, any emotions, sensation, maybe visions. Maybe this representation has something, some message for me. So allow the message to come. And then you can even put one hand on, or keep your hand on the representation of what can help me, and put the other hand on me. And just say to yourself, you're all muted, so you can say it out loud. Say the message. Say what the thing that can help you come closer to your soul is. Just say it. And if there isn't any message, but only emotions and sensations, it's okay. Don't be alarmed that you are not experiencing anything. It's okay. It's really natural. So take your hands off. Look at the field right now. Where do you stand? Where might your soul stand? What can help you stand? And now when you look at those three elements, how do you feel right now? What has changed or shifted from the first time you looked at the field when it was only you and your soul? And take a deep breath and come back. And I will say, I tried to be slow, but it's hard to me. So I might have been a little bit faster to some of you. It's recorded, so I think, right, Hitachi, they can look at it later and do it on your own rhythm. Yes. So this is us, me and my soul. We have dialogue with them, with our soul. For those of you that it's consciousness and not soul, you can do that the same. You can bring representation to consciousness instead of soul and see what comes up. We are not fully our consciousness, and our consciousness holds within it more than us. This is why I separate both of them to two different representations. So that was the exercise or the demonstration. And I will say that me and my soul is one of the biggest theme of working when I teach Karmic constellation, and it changes daily. Okay, I had a great night. I woke up optimist. Me and my soul, we are connected. I had an awful night. I woke up on the wrong leg or perception. Me and my soul, we can be not liking each other. I'll bring money issue to the field. Me and my soul, we are not dealing great with each other. And our soul sometimes have a different perception of how we should live our life than we actually live our life. And one of the things I can tell you that the training does is making us more aligned with our soul. And then when we are more aligned with our soul, we are more aligned with the life we are supposed to live. And things, not all things, but many things get easier for us.